Welcome into the live desk on this Monday morning. I'm Janae Hancock. We are tracking the latest with the natural disaster Hurricane Milton that is set to make landfall later on this week. The latest updates coming in. This just a few minutes ago that Milton is now forecast to reach Category 5 in strength. We also have new video coming in here at the live desk. Taking a look at that right now. This means that Florida residents are bracing for the second major hurricane in less than 2 weeks, and forecasters predict Hurricane Milton will make landfall on Wednesday and then move across most of the state. And officials are also issuing both mandatory and voluntary evacuation orders for at-risk area. I know we have some people here in the KCTV5 newsroom that know of people that will be evacuated or have already been evacuated. And the National Hurricane Center warns flooding could threaten millions of residents. Now, right now, Milton's timing could be dangerous, especially since the ground is already saturated in some areas from Hurricane Helene. With all of that being said, I do want to bring in Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau. Josh, thank you so much for joining me here at the live desk once again. Let's kind of touch on Hurricane Helene. Have we seen a lot of people being scammed trying to donate to the efforts out there and the victims that have already been impacted?
So, Janae, those reports have not come into BBB Scam Tracker yet. That does not mean that they have not been reported elsewhere. As you know, there are a variety of different platforms where folks can report their experience. But the reality is also that a lot of these reports come in after the fact, after accounts have had a little bit of time to be compromised. If, say, you've provided personal and payment information to a site that is not secure, and you start to, kind of experience some suspect activity on those accounts. Typically, folks associate that with the report, or they reach back out to that crowdfunding site or that platform in question and ask where that money went to, and find that that account or site has been taken offline completely. So, what's really good about the response to disasters and public tragedies is that people really want to help. They want to make an impact. And there are a lot of places to do that. But the reality is that there are also folks who see this as an opportunity to profit. And that's why a lot of the talking points that we have surround best practices to ensure that your money goes to the best possible end destination available.
It is definitely devastating, especially as we continue to receive new videos and photos of the aftermath of Hurricane Helene. And then, obviously, like I said, Florida residents are now preparing for Hurricane Milton. We're still getting new updates regarding that. So let's talk about the best practices and what people need to be on the lookout for regarding fake charities.
Yeah, so there are going to be a lot of opportunities and avenues for you to explore charitable giving. And if this is your first time, that's a wonderful thing, and you should be credited for pursuing that and making something good out of something that is so overwhelmingly negative. Our advice would be to visit give.org. We have very comprehensive charity profiles on all manner of organizations. We evaluate all of these charities to see whether they meet our standards for charitable accountability. It's a really good landing page to take the time to find out how organizations plan to address either immediate or long-term needs. There are going to be so many opportunities to donate for places that may have just originated overnight or might not have the infrastructure in place to be able to facilitate support or emergency response. So you want to make sure that your donation is going to tried and true organizations because you know that they have the infrastructure, they have the knowledge, they have the experience to be able to handle and actually make a positive difference in those communities. It's really challenging, Janae, to even get to impacted communities. So while some sites might, in theory, be fantastic opportunities and be even well-intentioned, it is challenging. It's a career. There's a lot that goes into going into impacted, devastated areas to provide support. And you want to make sure you're working with companies or organizations that have proven to be able to handle those logistical hurdles in the past.
Definitely going to trusted companies and trusted sites. But how in the past have you all seen people have been scammed in this type of situation? Is it always just going to a fake website or a fake social media, or are they also receiving phone calls and text messages as well?
Yeah, it's a scattershot approach, Janae. People have received emails, text messages, phone calls. In some cases, right, they are being outright scammed by organizations that do not exist, that aren't licensed, that are not found to be reputable. And in some cases, we're talking about just organizations that were designed with the best of intentions, but realistically couldn't carry out the mission or the purpose of the organization. So in a lot of cases, folks were targeted by 100% claims. So people were told that 100% of their donations would assist victims and or their families. And while in theory that is a fantastic thing, that really doesn't exist. There is a certain portion that needs to go to overhead for these organizations. You want to make sure that at bare minimum, they're providing an explanation of how that percentage is achieved. Because sometimes the best things that sound ideal in theory and practice are very different. In a lot of cases, though, Janae, we have had folks go to organizations or sites that really don't exist. So essentially an intake form for credit card information. And that's why it's so important to work with organizations that have proven to be reputable in the past, because you know that the site is on average going to be a little bit more secure, and that they have a proven track record of being able to provide support for those who desperately need it. And another thing to look for that we would recommend is financial transparency. It's really important that the organization in question explain how funds are going to be spent. All transparent organizations will post that information on their website so that folks can find out that information without needing to wait until audited financial statements are available or until somebody picks up the phone and calls them.
All very timely and important advice there. Josh Planos with the Better Business Bureau. Josh, thank you so much for joining me here at the Live Desk for today's news you can use. Taking a look at this graphic once again, I just want to give our viewers a recap of what we just touched on. If you joined us a little bit late, Hurricane Milton is forecast to become Category 5 on track to Florida Gulf Coast, and it's only been 10 days since Helene moved through that area and slammed as a Category 4. Now officials are asking residents still in recovery mode to evacuate and prepare for another life-threatening storm. Here at KCTV5, we will continue to keep you all posted. Be sure to download the KCTV5 News app for notifications right to your smart device, and follow us on social media, and be sure to go to our website, kctv5.com.